Hey guys, Josh here. This is my first layout update on me and my brother Caleb's N-scale train layout. Now it's not that big, we're going to add more sections on once we're done with this section, but that's far into the future. Not much has changed, but we do have a significant amount of track done. We've done some scenery tests, as you can see in the right corner, and so let's take a look. Okay, this is the first thing I wanted to show you guys. It's my first scenery attempt. I don't know, I haven't completed the ballasting all the way. You can see the white sections where I put the tile adhesive down, which was basically the strongest thing I could find to keep track down, and it smoothed out really nice. It's like cement, and it dries pretty quickly. Well, it doesn't dry quickly, but once you put the track down on the tile adhesive, the track doesn't move. It by itself, you have to physically move it, which makes it nice stuff to use. The ballasting is probably what I had the most trouble on. It's very annoying. I'm still debating on what to do for the front sides of the risers. I can show you guys one thing. I have a bunch of them, these little tile sections, and they're like retaining walls. They can be cut, and I was going to do them on the section on the other side of the bridge, that pink sections that you guys can see. Here, I'll move the camera. Right there. I was going to do it there, but I'm having some second thoughts on a retaining wall there for the whole way. So I was thinking maybe here. I don't know, you guys can tell me what you think in the corner. In the comments. Anyway, what I meant to say was in the corner, I did kind of like a quick attempt of scenery. Some of it came off, but it's really hard to do scenery or grass laying in N scale. In O scale, like my other O scale layout,
you see a layout.
You can you can mess up, make tiny little mistakes, and it doesn't matter because it looks natural, and that's what adds to the beauty of the layout. Like, so if the grass ends up a little clumpy in a couple of fields, it makes it look nice, but with N scale, it's kind of like it has to be flat, otherwise it looks strange, and that's what makes it pretty tough. I don't know, I might do a little small section as if a mountain or a little section of rock was coming up, but then gets stopped at the end of the layout. The track wasn't easy, but it was nothing compared to the ballasting, which is by far the hardest thing I've done. If you guys want to have any better techniques on ballasting, which I'll show you guys later on in this video, please let me know. Alright, so next thing I'm going to move on to is the bridge. And you guys can see that right there. The bridge was not that bad to start with, but I'm going to make my own scratch-built truss bridge, and it's going to look really nice. Well, I hope it's going to look really nice. That's just the base, kind of like the board that the track runs across, obviously. It was a little bit of work getting the ends even so that there was no lip on each side, but now the track runs across great. What I used was Atlas Code 80 Flex Track. Now it's a little bit hard to get them together, especially on turns. Got to use the rail joiners and usually and the tile adhesive, and then in some places where I didn't use rail joiners, I had a solder, and the solder I used was really, really big, and it was an older solder that was my dad's from a long time ago, and so it was really a pain. I was doing a lot of retries and filing on the track, but it came out to look good overall, and the only blemishes you see on the track are either concealed for the most part with ballast, or won't be, or are not noticeable from like this distance, only if you look up close. Alright, next thing I want to show you guys is here, right here in the back section where the slope, the decline, about there, all this section right here, and yeah, let's take a look at that. Okay, so this is the next thing I wanted to show you guys. It's this this grade here, it's really steep. It goes from 1 to 1.5 inches in a relatively short time. And for some of my older engines, like that I'll show you later on, the wheels will slip a little bit heading down the grade. Now, I know that's not going to be such a bad thing because this is all going to be concealed with my mountain section. You guys can barely see, but along right here, there is a little line, and that's where my mountain's going to be. It's going to go all the way to the edge. And so it'll conceal all that extra tile mastic that kind of went in between the ties. That was like my trial there because I realized, if you're gonna mess up, it's might as well be where no one else can see it in the tunnel. So it came out better than I thought, but it's not that hard to take the chunks of tile adhesive out of in between the ties and stuff and make it look all nice. Next to it, on the left, there is Plaster Paris rock faces. These weren't as hard as I thought they were to complete. I did them with my brother, and yeah, I think what came out worse was the track on top. That was one of my tries. That was the second time, and I must have gotten overconfident or something because I didn't do a wonderful job in putting the tile adhesive down. And the track itself is towards the left of the track bed, which I wasn't too pleased about. Anyway, that's for this section. Let's take a look at the other side where I have the scenery from the back, where I have my rock and hills and stuff. Alright, this is my next section. You could see now more clearly where the grass has blemished right there, and it's clumped up a little there. That was just a little test. This section here, this is going to be covered with grass and a lot of shrubs. I'm going to do plaster of Paris all the way down through here. These are just some N-scale trees. They're not that realistic looking yet, but yeah, they should come out to be pretty good. I think the ballasting I did right, see if I can get this, right here, came out to look very natural on like a decline for an old weathered rail, which is what I was trying to get at. The pine trees, I'm not exactly sure what brand I have. I have quite a few more. I have like 15 more. But, excuse me, they were given to me by someone that my aunt and uncle work for, and he had one of the biggest N-scale layouts I've ever seen. It had I remember it had close to 100 locomotives, and there were some really nice stuff on his layout. And so yeah, I got those. When he died, my aunt and uncle gave me the trees, and that's them. They look really natural, and they can be weathered and everything really good. Actually, if you look at them up close, I don't know if I can do that, but they're all these little strands of like this plastic stuff, and it looks really nice. If you guys know what brand that is, I'd like to get more of these because they're easy to weather and put in and stuff. Alright, but the grass, the sections that I did well on over here, this lighter green section, that came out okay, but I was thinking maybe with the section that has the big patch in it, that since it was sticking up, since it was more bushy and risen, if I could roll it down. That didn't work out too well, especially since the grass was still wet. You guys have any idea on how to do that? I'm open to suggestions, because there are many things. N-scale is surprisingly different from O-scale. In O-scale, without the open spots, this would be a really good section of grass, well, for what it is. But in N-scale, there's a little bit more perfection that has to be added to it. The ballast in between the ties hasn't been entirely brushed away yet. I guess from this angle it looks worse than it is, but I'm going to brush out some of that ballast. At the bottom of the hill, the very top of the screen, right there, there was actually a big gap under there, and I filled it in with ballast, and it was not very efficient to do, but I was kind of rushed in doing that section, so it took a little while. it didn't take long, but it came out to look pretty good. I still have to brush the ballast away on the sides, make it look more even. For the rest of the hill on the outside that doesn't have plaster of Paris, I'm thinking of doing just, like a hill that kind of rolls down into the other hill that's going to be here where the grass is and come up steeply. It's going to be like a rock face on a slant, but it's only going to come up about 6 inches. And then it's going to stop at the end of the table. So that's what I have for this section. Let's go look at the section that I started by ballasting. Alright, this is the top section that I ballasted. There are still a little bit of ballast on top of the track, some other debris. I think that's actually from the paper towel. I was wiping it down with Windex, but other than that, it came out pretty good. It has to be touched up. It's still in the rougher stages, but when it's done, it should look pretty good. Here I have some cars that I was testing here. Gotta move out of the way. It goes from up there to where the grade is, all the way down, past that tanker, all the way to there where I put in a piece of Bachmann Easy Track and another piece of Atlas Code 80, like this really shallow turn that I found. And so the whole idea is that this